and then type, I need a friend who loves to write as well. Well, maybe not in those words. You can come up with something better. We're creative writers here. I'm going to give you some cool writing tips to help you become a better creative writer. And then I have a secret technique today that's going to help you deal with any creative ever. Welcome to Kauffman Writes. I'm Kauffman, and this is my daily creative writing live stream. Your creative writing questions answered. How do you motivate yourself to write when life is crazy? I want you to go find a friend or find a family member. They also need to be just as passionate about writing as you are. It could be an acquaintance. Let's say that you don't know any people in your life who like to write at all. Then I want you to go onto Facebook, go under creative writing groups, and then search for one and join one. Regardless of what you guys are doing in your life, you guys are always going to check in on each other and help each other with just writing and just keeping each other inspired. This is the accountability partner. I promise you, if you're in a tough part in your life and you're not expecting your friend, accountability partner to reach out and tell you some like random writing thing, it will motivate the heck out of you to want to get back into your writing, because when they're dealing with it and they're in the thick of life, you'll do the same thing for them. If you have any creative writing questions that you want answered, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer them. I always love helping other writers out there. Additionally, if you found any value from any of the questions that we've gone over so far, don't forget to like and or subscribe this video, so that way you'll be notified when I come out with my live streams, when I put out writing videos, and generally if you want to beat procrastination. Or maybe if you don't, who's to say? Question number 2. What is it like to be a creative writer? It's very rewarding. I love creative writing because I love the story. I love the journey, the development of world building, character development, putting these stories together. You're in the middle of creating a story and the characters are coming to life and the structure is coming to life. And the story itself is just this whole, it's a cohesive whole. It's the coolest thing ever. And it is so rewarding because then when you finish the story, it's like that's what you put together. That was like your creation. It can also be a lonely path. I'm sure you've heard that quote before. Writing is rewriting. You're going to be spending a lot of time by yourself. You're going to be spending a lot of time in front of a computer or with your notepad or with some sort of writing thing, and writing because most of it is a solo journey. Now, when you go through editing and collaborating, of course, there's a lot of different aspects to it, but at heart, you're going to be working by yourself a lot. So if you're the type of person who you need people in your life like all the time and you love the social game, it might just be challenging for you. I put one other note here, patience. Because you're going to be going through a 2, 3, 4 drafts. It's very, very time consuming. There's a reason that so many writers out there struggle with procrastination and accountability. As I myself have struggled, I get it. The struggle is real, but it's because it takes a lot of patience to write 300 words on a page and write pages upon pages upon pages. And that's just for a novel or short story, assuming that it's not a script or a poem or any other types of creative writing. Always something that's motivated me, and it's the thing that I love to do. Hence why I want to meet every creative writer possible. Question number 3. What is a trick to beat procrastination? Cool little cheat here for you. I want you to go on your phone right now. If you have been procrastinating from writing, I want you to pull out your phone. If I wasn't using it as a camera, I would pull it out too. You're going to go onto your notifications, the whatever app you have for notifications, and you're going to start a new notification. You're going to name it right now. You can then put the date and the time whenever you want. Put it at a random time. Do it a random time next week. And then set that. And now go to your timer and set a 30-minute timer. Now, you're probably going to forget about it, but when it goes off at whatever time you set it for, start writing. Hold yourself accountable to start writing and try something new. Like literally, what's it going to hurt? And if you sit down, or let's say you're not in a place to write, pull up your phone. Once you get yourself started, then you could try a new routine. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe 15 minutes a day. The goal is make it as easy as possible. And trust me, you will appreciate it. our segment, the technique of the day, critiquing the creative. Whenever you're working, workshopping, or whenever somebody asks you to read their work, this will strategy will help you deal with any. Step number one, tone down the tone. You could be going in with the best of intentions. This is an amazing piece, best thing I've ever read. But if your tone is horrible and you're just like pissed off at the world, they're going to pick up on it. I promise you. Start with your tone. If you're intentional with it, it'll make a big difference. Step number two, expect the unexpected. You want to clarify what their expectations are. You want to ask them, what do they expect of you when it comes down to how you're going to be giving them feedback? Are they expecting you to do a deep dive into structure, character building, world development, grammar, dialogue, and so on and so forth? Or are they just like, you know what? I just want to know what the vibe is like. I just want to know if you enjoy it and if it was a fun read. Two completely different asks. And if you go into it with the wrong expectations, then when you deliver feedback on the back end, it's going to create mixed messaging because they're not receiving what the value that you're trying to give. It helps get on the same page. Step number three, reading who? You want to ask them who's their target audience. If they're asking you to read a comedy, but you hate comedy pieces and you're like a horror buff, like, yes, you can still give great feedback, but it's important to recognize that the feedback or that the story is not intended for you. Step number four, feelings matter, or do they? Absolutely, feelings matter, 100%. How do they feel about their writing? The type of feedback that you're going to be giving them is going to be completely different than someone who's like, you know, this is amazing, best thing I've ever written, this is my masterpiece, as compared to worst thing I've ever written, garbage, a dumpster fire, I don't know what's going on with my life. You're going to be giving two different types of feedback based off how they feel about it. Because if you read it and you hear and you see what their sentiment expressed, then you know that they're on the same page and they actually recognize where their problems are at. But what happens sometimes is that when you read through something, because we get so attached to our work and we fall in love with it, when we receive feedback that is unexpected because we feel we're at a certain level, that creates this weird, convoluted, upset feeling. Step number five, begin the first strike. This is the time for you to start giving the feedback and giving the advice. You now want to keep in mind the first four steps. Step one, where you set your own tone. Step two, where you asked what their expectations are. Step three, where you asked who their intended audience is. Step four, where you asked how they felt about the piece, because all those are important factors when you give the feedback. And if you're keeping these things in mind, then I promise you, you could be giving them the worst feedback in the world. You could be giving them the best feedback in the world. And they're going to be able to more handle it and then talk with you to help improve their piece because you're coming from it from a self-aware perspective. If you have any questions about this technique, definitely feel free to post them down below. Step number 6, tailor, rinse, and repeat. Just repeating what you did. Sometimes some people want like more of a deep dive, or maybe you've been paid to do something. Or maybe you're trading work with somebody. But if you take the time for each section that you're going to give advice or feedback on, you're going to make your life so much easier. Trust. And then step 7, the real secret. Step 7, ask them to read your work, because we both know that you really want your work read so you can put it out there. Trust me, the number of writers who want their work read, I totally get it. I finish something, I'm super passionate about it. I'm like, all right, everyone read it. I need it to be better. And then if I've used my critiquing the creative technique, you're going to be set up for success. If you found any value from today's live stream or video, don't forget, like, subscribe. You'll be notified when I go live and when I upload more writing advice. I'm uploading new writing videos each and every single day because I want to help you become a better creative writer. It's a long path, but there's so many different elements and facets to it, but like, I believe in you and it's so rewarding, as I talked about earlier. All right, I'm Kauffman and I'll catch you on the flip side.